The past week, I've came to CKRH, Horse Park in Lexington, and been taught resiliency. And through this course, it's truly benefited me, physically, emotionally. Like, I think it's impacted every soldier in this class.
This training in resiliency has been beneficial to me thus far on so many levels, not only on my personal life, but I've also been able to apply this to my soldiers. I sort of have a unique case because this is my second time through the training. So I got the perspective on the first time and using it, and then coming back through and sort of refreshing myself on some skills I might have forgotten, and plus some new techniques to apply.
My experience here within this past week with the resilience course, it's been the answer I've been looking for. It's definitely been one of the best experiences that I've ever had in my life.
I learned a lot from the resilience course. I learned about my strengths, my character strengths. Just being able to see that I can take different means to come up with, to handle better situations when I'm stressing or have two icebergs about to collide.
You're not alone, like if you need help, if you need guidance, the military teaches us, oh, you're tough, you can stick it out, rub some dirt on it, everything's okay. And I mean, if you're really going through, emotional or physical, things in your life, whether it's, relationships or your jobs, or you're worried about your finances, this course will tremendously help you.
Another thing that stood out was the relaxed atmosphere. I know for myself, being a senior NCO, I'm sort of used to, suck it up, drive on. Okay, life sucks sometimes, but you just got to keep pushing, which is all fine and dandy. But at the same time, I feel that the military is moving in a different direction, where we have to actually take the time to work on our soldiers and develop them. We can't just tell them to suck it up. We got to understand where they're coming from, so that we're not actually causing more harm to them. We're actually building them up as individuals.
The biggest thing I'm getting out of this course too is that as a soldier and actually sitting back and watching and observing everything that goes on within the units in your day-to-day life, you can take this anywhere. You can apply it to your relationship at home, your families, and then once you go on M-Day orders, take the drill and use it.
I figured out once I took the resilience course that I do catastrophize a lot of situations and just go overboard with it. So it made me kind of realize that I do have an optimistic way about thinking, but then there are also those times when I just overboard and just don't act like me. So it was a unique way to see how you can go about a situation instead of asking why. I know I do that a lot. You can ask what can you do, or what makes you feel that way, or anything like that. So it was a better way of looking at different situations.
And we also talked, about, suicidal thoughts and your ambitions. And if you need help, reach out to somebody, because I thought I was alone through this whole process. Day one, I was skeptic to talk to anybody because I didn't know anybody. I knew one other guy because he's in the 223rd with me, but you have this mixture of every different, unit and, background, where you're from, what you're going through. All of us can relate to the same things. A lot of us are combat veterans, and, whether it's one tour or two tours, this resiliency training is a true statement, and our instructors were brilliant and amazing. And I believe that resiliency in a couple of years will be taught all through, the United States, the world, in high schools, in workplaces.
So I think the relaxed atmosphere here taught me how to take a step back, set aside the rank for a moment and talk to the man beneath the uniform. And that is, for lack of better words, speaks volumes in itself. I would recommend this for future soldiers to, come here so that not only they know how to reach out to other soldiers, but to reach out to their family members as well. Because this is not just a skill set that you learn and you only apply to the military. This is beneficial across the spectrum.
Everybody actually needs to know about this stuff. It's pretty much, it tells you how to deal with your emotional roller coaster rides, your icebergs, your thinking traps, and if you know how to control them, it don't mean everything's going to be perfect. It means you can solve the problem. It don't mean that you're never going to fight, you're never going to argue. You might be having a bad day at drill, and then you take it on your Joes. It means before you do that action, you stop yourself and you think, what's the best way I can solve this problem or this outcome. And then everybody gets a positive feedback off that. They see you doing this, being a leadership or a husband, a father, and they start catching on. And you can even take this home, teach it to your family, your wife, whoever is with you on a day-to-day basis.
And for the Kentucky Horse Park, it is truly a blessing and an amazing feeling to be able to come out and work with the horses, interact with the horses, because the horses can feel and know your emotions. And by us also coming out here and helping with, whether they need to be groomed or, their feet need to be cleaned or they need to have a bath or, like different classes that they showed us, like equine billiards and how to go up to a horse, and we judge them for 5 minutes and get our reactions and see where their emotions were, their activating events, and relay them to our everyday life.
Resilience course that really helped with the horse part, because I've never experienced being around horses or anything like that. So when we were learning about everything, I don't like to really experience new things all the way because I'm afraid to sometimes. So when I got to experience being around that horse and I had my buddies right there to push me and be like, we got your back, you're gonna be fine, we got you. It was great because it was like, okay, here I am with this big old animal, and so it was like, okay, let me calm down, just take a deep breath, and I had my battle buddies, saying, all right, we got you too. And so, being able to overcome my fear and experience something new, that was great.
As for the horse park, it's been phenomenal. In my entire life, I don't think I've ever worked with horses, and of course I thought it was going to be, I guess, at first just a lot of strenuous work, but at the same time, I've learned how the horses actually mirror your emotions, so you get a chance to look at yourself in a sense. And then you learn a whole different skill set. It was a changing experience. It was actually therapeutic, for me at least.
We went to the Cardinal Hill Rehabilitation Center, and I wish, other soldiers, I wish it would be mandatory for one drill day just to see all the positive energy from the PTs and the OTs. It's truly and simply amazing and a blessing.
And then going to Cardinal Hill, that is something that I honestly think should be something a part of the Guard, just to go see, kids or anything like that in your community. Just make it a part of your drill day where you go and you see, because just seeing somebody else going through something can help you uplift and be like, that's great. Because the lady that I work with, her name was Kathy, and she had walking problems because she had a stroke, and just being able to be there with her while she was trying to get her strength back was just motivating to me, because it was like, here she is, she's older than me, and she's going through this and she's not giving up.
All right, well, Cardinal Hill, first off, I was very moved by going to that facility for a simple fact that I got to see a whole side of society that I didn't even know existed. Individuals, yeah, I knew they came back hurt. I knew we had soldiers that, were deployed and came back hurt. But I didn't really understand the pain that they went through, both physically and mentally, until I went to Cardinal Hill.
Like I said before, this is definitely the answer that I was looking for. There's a light at the tunnel. I kept on chasing it. Now I'm here. Now I can apply and use all these things, and not only is it going to better me, but it's going to better my family. It's going to better my leadership skills. Higher up. All the way to the governor of Kentucky. He needs to see this stuff. He really does. This is what the Army needs. It's not a want or just another, death by PowerPoint. This is what we need.